You've watched someone less qualified than you get promoted. You've seen the person who talks the loudest in meetings get the credit, and you've sat there thinking, is this really how it works? I'm Chris, and I'm racing against the Matrix, trying to figure out the rules of a game that was never written down for people like us. Here's what you probably told yourself. You told yourself, it's about who you know, or that the boss plays favorites, or that if you just keep your head down and do excellent work, eventually someone will notice. And some of that isn't wrong, but it's incomplete. And incomplete explanations are dangerous because they make you feel like you understand what's happening when you're actually still blind to the thing underneath. Office politics has a bad reputation, and honestly, that reputation is earned. You've seen what it does to people. The ones who play it dirty, the credit stealers, the meeting manipulators, the people who smile at your face and undermine you in the next room. And so you made a decision, maybe quietly, maybe without even naming it. You decided you wouldn't be that. You'd stay clean. You'd just work. That decision cost you. Not because hard work is worthless, but because you confuse staying out of the game with being above it. You're not above it. Nobody is. The only question is whether you're playing consciously or whether you're letting the game play you. So if this is already hitting close to home, hit subscribe. There's more where this came from, and I'm just getting started. Here's the mechanism nobody explains to you. Organizations don't actually run on org charts and job descriptions. They run on perceived value and social trust. Those are two different currencies, and most high performers only deal in one of them. You trade in results, deliverables, quality of work. And that currency is real, but it's not the only one that buys influence in a room. Perceived value is about what people believe you're capable of, not just what you've proven you can do. Social trust is about whether the people with decision-making power feel comfortable with you in the room when things get uncertain. Neither of those things is built through excellent work alone. They're built through visibility, through relationships, and through how you communicate, not just what you communicate. This is the part that feels unfair, and it is unfair. It genuinely is. You shouldn't have to perform confidence to get the opportunities your work deserves. You shouldn't have to master small talk and positioning to be recognized for real contributions. That is a flaw in how most organizations operate. Acknowledging that doesn't fix it. But it matters. Because if you spend all your energy resenting the unfairness, you'll stay stuck in it. Let me make this concrete. Picture two people at the same level, same skill set, roughly similar output. One of them sends their manager a quick message on Friday, not sucking up, just a brief, here's what I closed out this week, here's what I'm picking up Monday. The other one just does the work and assumes it's visible. At performance review time, which one do you think the manager feels more confident advocating for? The one whose work is clear in their mind, or the one they have to try to reconstruct from memory? That's not manipulation, that's communication. The line between politics and manipulation is actually cleaner than people think. Manipulation is when you distort reality to benefit yourself at someone else's expense. Communication is when you make reality legible so people can make informed decisions. You have been told somewhere along the way that making your work visible is somehow showing off. It's not. Invisibility isn't humility. It's just expensive. Now take another scenario. There's a meeting and someone raises a concern about your project. You know they're wrong, or at least partially wrong. You have the data. And there are two ways to respond. You can correct them directly, efficiently, maybe a little cold, because you're focused on being right. Or you can correct them in a way that doesn't make them feel publicly diminished, that acknowledges the kernel of truth in what they said before redirecting. Same outcome, completely different residue. The first approach wins the argument. The second one wins the room. And here's what nobody tells you. The room has a longer memory than the argument. This is where people go wrong when they try to get better at politics. They treat it like strategy, who to align with, how to position, what to say to whom. And some of that is real. But if that's where you start, You'll end up performing a version of yourself that's exhausting to maintain and eventually transparent to everyone around you. People can sense inauthenticity across a conference table. They don't always name it, but they feel it. The version of politics that doesn't make you toxic starts with something much simpler: genuine curiosity about what other people are actually trying to accomplish. Not as a tactic, as a practice. When you understand what your manager is worried about, what your colleagues' actual pressure points are, what the organization is quietly terrified of you, stop feeling like you're navigating a minefield and start feeling like you have a map. Not because you're manipulating anyone, but because you understand the terrain. And one more thing before we get to where this lands: if this kind of breakdown is useful to you, subscribe before you scroll away. The algorithm is brutal, and I'm out here fighting it to get this in front of people who actually need it. Most people who win at office politics without becoming toxic aren't the ones who learned a set of moves. They're the ones who got genuinely interested in the systems around them. They stopped asking, "Why is nobody recognizing my work?" and started asking, "How does recognition actually move through this organization?" They stopped asking, "Why do politics people get ahead?" and started asking, "What are those people doing that I'm not, and which parts of it can I do without selling anything I actually care about?" Those are different questions. They lead somewhere different. You don't have to become the person you resented. You don't have to steal credit, fake warmth, or play both sides of every conversation. But you do have to stop pretending that keeping your head down is a strategy. It's not a strategy, it's a weight. And the weight has a cost that compounds quietly until one day you look up and the people you outworked are running the meetings. Here's how it actually works. Influence in organizations flows toward the people who are understood, trusted, and visible, not always the people who are the most skilled. That's the uncomfortable truth. Skill is the entry ticket. What happens after you're in the room is a different game entirely. You don't have to play it dirty, but you do have to play it. The only way to win without becoming toxic is to be clear-eyed enough about the game to choose your moves deliberately and grounded enough in what you actually value that you know which lines you won't cross. That's not cynicism. That's the map.